Hello everyone, and thank you so much for being here today. My name is Mikayla Russ, and I'm an event planner in the Office of Student Engagement here at BGSU. I can't say that I'm surprised I ended up in the position I'm in because I've always been a planner. For the longest time, I've loved lists, charts, and calendars. The idea of organization, preparation, and predictability makes me giddy. I'm one of those people that will write down a task I've already completed just for the mere satisfaction of crossing it off my to-do list. And so, as you could assume, I've had my entire life planned from the age of 10. Here's a little of what the past 13 years have looked like for me. In entering high school, I made the varsity cheerleading team. At 16, my parents bought me my first car, a bright red Bug convertible. As a senior, I was prom royalty with my soon-to-be high school sweetheart, where we then went on to graduate college, get engaged, and buy our first home. I'm 23 now, and I'm happy to report that everything went according to plan. And I'm here to tell you that you too can have the perfect life if you just think about it and write it down. Now, for those of you who know me, and even those of you who don't, know that that was not what my life has looked like. You see, at the age of 10, when I was creating that plan, I was obsessed with the idea of living a perfect life. I wanted to be what society deemed as popular. I wanted the relationship and family that everyone was jealous of. And I wanted what in my head was a good life, a predictable life. I was willing to do whatever I needed to do to make that happen. And so naturally, nothing went according to plan. And entering high school, I did not make the varsity cheerleading team. I did not get my bright red Bug convertible, nor did I meet my Prince Charming. But what did happen was this. At 13, I learned to pack a gunshot wound. My dad, who struggled with addiction, had an accident with a firearm and shot himself in front of me. At 15, I was learning to commute between two households and had successfully identified the symptoms of a stroke. My parents had divorced and my dad's health declined. At 16, I was sexually abused by a predator who had entered my life and would stay in my life for the next 6 years. The abuse eventually ended when I caught him placing a video camera in my bedroom. As you can imagine, this was a very difficult time in my life. Oftentimes I felt scared and alone, and nobody truly knew what was going on. But in shifting perspective, not only was I facing the trauma of my dad's addiction, my parents' divorce, or the abuse and exploitation, but I was also facing the trauma of not living the life I had planned for myself. After all, this was not who I was supposed to be. I was supposed to be the girl who had it all figured out. I was supposed to be great. I had a plan. It was at this point in time that I was living a life of what I thought was a reflection of the universe hating me. In graduating high school and entering college, I had retained 0 friends. Friends that I had made and known for 2, 3, and even 4 years, I had managed to drive off with my actions. Luckily, in entering college, I had made the cheerleading team. However, it wasn't long before I was in the office of the head coach talking about my lack of academic achievement or poor life choices. You see, I had failed more than one class. I had an incredibly low GPA. And my personal favorite, I was going out and partying 5 to 7 days a week. Really good, right? Trust me, I know. So, if you would ask the girl back then why she was doing what she was doing, she would say something along the lines of, "What do you mean, why am I doing what I'm doing? I'm living life to the fullest. This is what you're supposed to do. This is college, a time to have fun, be reckless, and figure stuff out." Well, little did I know I wasn't just being reckless, I was being risky, and I definitely was not doing anything to figure stuff out. But if you would ask this girl, I would say, sure, I think part of the behavior was that I was so used to the typical emotions, so numb to them, that I was actively seeking risky situations in order to help myself feel something, anything. But I also think this. I also feel that I didn't realize I had the tools I needed within myself to move my life forward and in a direction that was beneficial to me and the world around me. So now let's do a fun activity. I want you to put yourself in my shoes, and I want you to think about it like this. You're at the start of the race, and your one and only objective is to finish this race as fast as you can. At the end, you'll get a prize that makes your life better, and a prize that you so desperately want. For some of us, this could be money, a new car, or even your dream job. Whatever it is, your life will be better because of it. The horn blows and you're frantically running towards the finish line. You're not worried about what's going on around you. You just have your eyes on that prize. and suddenly it's getting harder to move. You realize that you're in a patch of mud. You're frantically looking around you, trying to get to solid ground, and when you do, you're a little dirty, you're a little tired, but you keep going because you know that at the end of the race, there's a prize that will make your life better. And then all of a sudden, as you're going towards that prize, boom, it's thundering and lightning. The BGU wind is blowing the rain in your face. You don't know what to do. So you close your eyes and you just keep trekking forward. When the rain subsides, you're tired, you're cold, and you're hungry. You realize that this prize that you've been going to, you no longer know where it is. So here's the catch. How upset would you be if I tell you that on your way to that prize, you missed the warning sign for the mud? Or that when you were so distracted by the wind and the rain in your face that you forgot you had packed an umbrella in your bag? You see, this race was very much like my life. The prize was that perfect plan full of predictability and stability. The rain and the mud were my trauma, and the missed sign and the forgotten umbrella were the tools that I failed to use to help me reach my goals. So that leads me to a presumed second question that you might have. How? How did I get to be here in front of you today? The easy answer, therapy, and a lot of it, but also this. I realized who I was and what's important to me. You see, I'm someone who had a difficult childhood. I faced trauma early on in my life. So early that I was letting it decide what my future would look like. I was blaming my behavior on my past experiences, yet it was I who was facing the consequences. And so that leads me back to that question of how I got to be here in front of you today. I realized that I needed to start acting congruently with the things that were non-negotiables to my life, my relationships, and my success. Things like hard work to the point where failure is not an option. Things like perseverance, where so many things are going wrong that you actually start to enjoy the creative problem solving, or transparency. And what's funny is when I started focusing on these things that I had now deemed more important than that perfect plan, the things in the plan had naturally started happening for me. I'm now a college graduate with academic honors. I had a Division I college cheerleading career. And my personal favorite, I now have a community of people who I now know will always be in my corner, a community of people who I now know have values that align with my own. And so what I'm here to tell you today is that you will never have the perfect life. There will always be patches of mud or the unpredicted rain in your face. But if you know who you are and what's important to you, you are better equipped to navigate life's challenges in a way that drive you and your goals forward. So now it's my turn to ask you the questions. Who are you and what do you value? Thank you.